Imagine landing a guest role on one of the most iconic sitcoms of all time, only to realize you once dated its leading man. Sounds like something straight out of a TV script, right? Well, for One Tree Hill star Barbara Alyn Woods, this wasn't just a plot twist. It was real life. Before she made her guest appearance on Seinfeld, she had actually dated Jerry Seinfeld himself. Talk about a sitcom-worthy coincidence. Now, as fans dig into this surprising revelation, the internet is buzzing with questions. How did this happen? Was it awkward on set? And most importantly, did Newman know? Barbara Alyn Woods, best known for her role as Deb Scott on One Tree Hill, has had a long and impressive career in Hollywood. But her connection to Seinfeld has taken fans by surprise. Before she ever stepped onto the show's set, she had a brief romantic history with Jerry Seinfeld. In an industry where everyone seems to be 1 degree away from dating someone famous, this revelation still stands out, especially considering she later appeared as one of the many women to grace Jerry's dating roster on Seinfeld. Talk about art imitating life. While details of their past romance remain mostly private, it certainly adds an amusing layer to her guest role. Fans can't help but wonder, did Jerry remember? Did the cast and crew know? Or was it just another day in the life of Hollywood's most unexpected connections? The 1990s were a golden era for sitcoms, and Seinfeld was at the top of the food chain. Guest stars came and went, often playing Jerry's love interests, and Woods was among them. But the fact that she had a real-life history with Seinfeld makes her appearance even more intriguing. Was there an inside joke hidden in the script? Did Elaine or George pick up on any chemistry? While we may never know exactly how it played out behind the scenes, one thing is certain. This makes rewatching Seinfeld even more fun. Imagine Jerry's classic puzzled expression, but this time, knowing there's a little more to the story. It's the kind of revelation that makes you want to go back, rewatch her episode, and analyze every moment for hidden awkwardness. Of course, the real fun of this revelation is imagining how it all played out on set. Picture this. Barbara Alyn Woods walks onto the Seinfeld set, ready to deliver her lines, and there's Jerry, standing there, probably with that signature smirk, trying to figure out if this situation is awkward or just another absurd chapter in his sitcom-like life. Did they exchange knowing glances? Did Kramer burst in at the exact wrong moment, oblivious to the tension in the air? Did George somehow make it about himself? These are the kinds of behind-the-scenes moments we'll never get to witness. But that won't stop fans from speculating. And let's not forget the Seinfeld writers, who thrived on turning the most mundane, everyday awkwardness into comedic gold. If they had known about this little twist of fate, it would have been prime material for a whole episode. Imagine Jerry discovering that an ex he barely remembers is now guest starring on his own show. Elaine would have roasted him mercilessly. George, naturally, would have overanalyzed it to death. So wait, you dated her, she's here now. Does this mean she wins the breakup? Or is this like a second breakup? And Kramer, he'd have some insane theory about how Hollywood is a small-town dating vortex, before somehow ending up in an accidental relationship himself. Of course, Seinfeld was always more about poking fun at the quirks of human relationships than delivering true romance. And while Barbara Alyn Woods' appearance on the show was brief, this newfound context adds an extra layer of humor to the whole thing. Was Jerry playing it cool the whole time, or was there an unspoken history hanging in the air? Did he try to make a joke about it between takes? And more importantly, did Newman know? Because if anyone could make an already awkward situation worse, it was Newman. At the end of the day, Hollywood is full of surprising dating connections, but few are as delightfully sitcom-worthy as this one. It's a perfect example of how life sometimes mirrors the very stories we see on screen, only with less scripted dialogue and more hilarious, unscripted tension. So, the next time you watch Seinfeld, keep an eye out for Barbara Alyn Woods' guest appearance. Because now, every side-eye, every smirk, and every bit of chemistry between her and Jerry will have you wondering, was this just another day at work? or the setup for a joke Seinfeld never got the chance to tell. Imagine being a One Tree Hill fan who also happens to love Seinfeld, casually rewatching old episodes when suddenly, bam! There's Deb Scott, but she's not dealing with Dan Scott's drama. She's on a date with Jerry Seinfeld. The worlds of 90s sitcoms and early 2000s teen drama collide in the most unexpected way. You have to wonder, when Barbara landed the role of Deb, did any of her One Tree Hill castmates ever bring up her Seinfeld moment? Did Chad Michael Murray ever walk onto set one day and go, "Wait a minute, weren't you on Seinfeld? Didn't you date Seinfeld?" Of course, as much fun as it is to speculate about all the behind-the-scenes moments we'll never see, the biggest takeaway from all of this is just how small Hollywood really is. The entertainment industry is one giant Venn diagram of unexpected relationships, weird coincidences, and surprise connections that fans uncover years later. Barbara Alyn Woods going from Jerry's real-life date to his fictional date on Seinfeld is just one of those moments that makes you realize if you stick around Hollywood long enough, you'll probably end up on a list of someone's exes and a guest star on their show. So, whether you're a lifelong Seinfeld fan, a devoted One Tree Hill watcher, or just someone who loves a good Hollywood coincidence, this little piece of sitcom trivia is worth remembering. The next time you rewatch Seinfeld, keep an eye out for Barbara Alyn Woods. And just imagine the inside jokes that must have been flying around when the cameras weren't rolling. Because in a world full of scripted comedy, sometimes the funniest stories are the ones that happen in real life. In the end, Barbara Alyn Woods' Seinfeld guest appearance might have just been another gig at the time, but in retrospect, it's a piece of Hollywood trivia that's as entertaining as any sitcom plot. Whether you're a Seinfeld fan, a One Tree Hill loyalist, or just someone who loves a good behind-the-scenes story, this unexpected dating connection is one for the books. It's proof that in Hollywood, paths cross in the most unexpected ways, and sometimes life really does play out like a scripted comedy. Now, if you'll excuse us, we're off to rewatch her episode of Seinfeld, this time with an entirely new perspective.